From the Oklahoma newsroom, this is an OU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Abby Bitterman, OU basketball writer. Abby, quite a game on Saturday.
Quite the game
in Fort Worth. Huge comeback by the Sooners. Huge performance by Austin Reeves. Which is more impressive to you, 41 by Austin Reeves or the comeback by the Sooners?
I think that, honestly, you can't have one without the other.
Right.
That comeback doesn't happen if Austin Reeves doesn't keep them in it the whole way. And, I may mess up the number here, but I believe he was 15 of 16 from the free throw line, which was really big for OU, that, TCU just kind of kept following him, kept letting him get to the line. And so to have that kind of number from the free throw line, I think really helped both causes. But, like I just said, the comeback doesn't happen unless he has those 41 points, because for the most part, no one else was really scoring for OU. And then, he kind of did it from start to finish, because he was the guy at the end who shot that game-winning shot. Yeah. And like he said himself, it was over after that.
It was. It definitely was. Hit it with 0.5 on the clock. TCU got up what looked to be a shot that might have counted, but it didn't go in. So Sooners walk away with a victory, which in terms of NCAA tournament, we'll talk about the Big 12 tournament here in a second, but NCAA tournament hopes, it felt like a lot of these games late in the regular season were need to wins for OU. And then when they dropped a few that you thought they might win, to potentially lose at TCU, TCU's had some good wins down the stretch, but that felt needed on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, we talked about last week, they got themselves off the bubble with those wins over Texas Tech and West Virginia. But then to lose kind of in the same fashion that they won on Saturday, to lose that way to Texas on Tuesday, you kind of thought, maybe not, hold on. But then to see them win again, you have to think that keeps them off the bubble and kind of keeps them squarely in the tournament. I believe in the net rankings they moved up, I think, like one spot. I think they're at like 44 right now. Yeah. Could have changed with some of the games on Sunday, but they're in a pretty solid place right now. And they have had about this record the last 2 years, maybe even a little bit better this year, and made it to the Big 12 tournament. Made it to the NCAA tournament. Yeah. Everyone goes to the Big 12 tournament. Made it to the NCAA tournament. So you have to think they're in a pretty safe spot to do exactly that again.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the NCAA selection committee looks at it as Oklahoma or Texas, but after that close loss on Tuesday, you kind of thought, wonder if they're picking between those two. Which, with Oklahoma finishing in third instead of seventh, it's optics, but those are important optics, and a chance to rest, to not play the opening round of the Big 12 tournament. That sets up pretty decently for Oklahoma.
Yeah, definitely. And with the way that Saturday shook out, like you just said, in that game they were literally playing to be third or seventh, which seems like a big gap between the two. Yeah. But the number 3 seed playing the number 6 seed West Virginia, one of just 2 teams that they swept this season. But, it can be hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. And they've only ever played West Virginia twice in the Big 12 tournament. Both times they've lost, including last season. Yeah. So, while it is a team they've beaten twice this season, it's still going to be a really hard game. West Virginia is a great team. And so, I think definitely, like you just mentioned, a sigh of relief not having to play Wednesday, getting a chance to rest, but definitely not an easy opponent to take on.
Well, and West Virginia looked like they maybe figured some things out on Saturday as they beat Baylor at home, which they'd look like they were on life support. But I don't know what to make of that, if that's a turn of the corner or if that's the exception. But you got to think you have to mind the boards, especially against West Virginia. But OU has done a good job of that, like you said, this year. Is that really key against West Virginia in your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. They in the game in Norman, they let West Virginia, especially in the beginning of the game, get a lot of rebounds, get a lot of second chance opportunities. Now that game, as Bob Huggins said, West Virginia missed 22 shots within 2 feet of the basket, but because of rebounding, they got the opportunity to take 22 shots within 2 feet of the basket. And that's not something I think that Bob Huggins will let West Virginia do again. And so for that reason, rebounding needs to be a real focus for OU in this game.
Yeah, and that's a Thursday night game. It's the late one. It's an 8 o'clock start in Kansas City. All those games will be televised, so people will be watching. Some people will be going up, but again, 8 o'clock on Thursday night. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at Oklahoman.com and every day in the Oklahoman.